Coming.
Dave was my roommate in Bolivia, and we lived together 1 year. And then, suddenly, randomly, we met again here in Bali. Thank you so much for joining this informal conversation and also this informal setting.
As you know, I was born in California. I grew up in California, lived pretty much my whole life there. I always knew from early that I wanted to get out and travel. You know, I was always interested in experiencing new things and stuff. At the time when I was younger, I wasn't really aware that I could go travel kind of outside my country, out to other countries and other parts of the world and stuff. But I always knew that I wanted to travel. Actually, after I had started working, I grew up. I went to school and had already started my job and career and all that kind of stuff there. Kind of had a little bit more of a normal, settled down life and everything. But I always had kind of this itch to go out and travel, and I did a few trips here and there. Did kind of a small backpacking trip, and always came back to my job and stuff. And I had kind of started to meet more people who were kind of like foreigners or something that had kind of immigrated to the U.S. or were there for like maybe a study abroad or just different things. And I really was kind of thinking too, like, oh, I wish I had gotten the opportunity to travel and stuff when I was younger. And then it kind of just occurred to me that it was like, well, I didn't do it when I was younger. Why don't I just do it now? Better later than never. So anyway, I got really interested in the idea to go travel, and so I decided, okay, what am I going to do though? Where am I going to go? How long am I going to be? How much money do I have? Before I need to go back to work again. So anyway, I had made kind of some arrangements. I decided to quit my job and to sell my car and
that's
all that
that's
kind
really
of
that's
stuff.
really like a hot topic now. People quitting their job. I mean, I did it like many years ago, but it's still like when I heard all the time like quitting the job, it's like because here we talk about like informal therapy, so there is like many happening in people's lives. It's actually a really life-changing experience that can improve the life. And many times like here in Bali, I heard like that quit my job, and people when I say it just like no problem, like I mean it's no problem when you do it,
Right.
It's a problem when you don't do it.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, so I really like the just because it's a short like experiential action that it can really many effect on people's life. Yeah, so just like sorry for interrupting, but as soon as I heard like quit my job, it's really like therapeutic blast.
Yeah. It was definitely a big movement. It was definitely like closing one chapter and opening the next one, and I knew that I was going to go out and travel. I had some money saved and stuff like that, but it was definitely like, it sounds amazing, like as you said, and it was, but there was definitely a lot of like other kind of emotions and feelings that went into it too, because I'm like, wait, I'm letting go of everything I know, my security, my job, my income, and everybody I know, and it's a big move, so you're closing that. So yeah, you have this like release of like, this is great, amazing, I have freedom, but it's not without the other side of that where you're like, what am I doing? Where am I going?
So you didn't plan that much when you quit your job, or you already have like some idea of?
It was I think I knew that I wanted to go out and travel, but I kind of left it open up enough, which is a little bit goes kind of with my personality anyway. I like the spontaneity, I like being able to choose and the freedom. So I knew I will be fine wherever I go. But at this, so anyway, I had left and traveled a while, and it was great. I would say the first like maybe 3 months, 6 months was great, until I started dealing with kind of different emotions that to be honest, I didn't really expect them, because I'm like, everything is just going to be free. I'm going to travel and everything will work out.
So which one
after.
is the first country that you visited after?
After the United States?
Yeah, as soon as you left US?
Yeah, I went to Colombia. So it was one of the cheapest.
Yeah, that's a big cultural shock.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Latin America, and I just went on Google and said, what is the cheapest flight to South America,
To get out.
Yeah, I wanted to get out. I knew I wanted to go to a Spanish-speaking country, because I said, I want to learn Spanish. I never learned, I didn't know anything. But it was definitely a big shock, and plus I went to, I met some friends of friends, and people had said, oh, go visit my family in Colombia and stuff. I'll give you their number. You can meet them when you go there. So I did, and it was amazing. But they didn't speak English, which which is obvious. Of course, it's kind of an expected thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely, within a few days, I started having a lot of those feelings of like, I can't communicate. I don't know Spanish. They can't speak English, and there was just so much kind of like bottled up things you want to express or understand that, to be honest, it was a bit overwhelming. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a bit overwhelming. Yeah, and then
You were by yourself. Like when you decide to travel, it's just like you.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just me.
Okay.
At least for that first while, and then after a little while, I said I want to go kind of be on more, let's say, the backpacker
Mhm.
path where you're with other travelers and stuff. You're still on your own, but you're with other
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
are on their own.
You didn't start to travel with your best friend. You didn't travel with your girlfriend. You didn't travel with your family, just like by yourself. So
Right.
solo traveler, which is
Yeah.
actually like the modern trend now, and also for women and men,
Hmm.
which is like it's really really powerful from the therapeutic side because you are alone and you have like many social situations. But yeah, so the feeling of being alone for you don't know how long,
Hmm.
and it's really, for some people has been blocked by the idea of being alone,
Mhm.
especially now that we are so much busy with our lives, so we
Mhm.
control everything.
Mhm.
So it's really hard to drop everything and be by yourself and really work on yourself because you're gonna face many fears, you're gonna feel many emotions that you usually don't wanna face with. So you are kind of forced to stay in that state,
Yeah.
and it's really for me it's fantastic. I don't know, maybe I'm addicted to that situation, which is like really therapeutic. But some people don't do it, they don't experiment until they, just like the famous quit the job, quit the city, and change languages and change mind. And
Hmm.
yeah, so okay, so just like talk a little bit like Latin American, like from Colombia since when we met, and then like you're in Bali now. So how you ended up in being in Bali and here? So
Sure. I'll give you the kind of fast forward. So then, yeah, so I spent a few months in Latin American travel. I kind of moved around different countries and stuff. Yeah, tried to kind of just soak up as much as I could and really, I guess, enjoy the mental space of being kind of in freedom. Like, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. You can go wherever you want and make your own decisions and stuff. And sometimes you start traveling for a while and you're hanging out with a group of people that I don't know, some of them you really like, so you have the opportunity to continue to travel with them. Some of them you don't sit well the same with them, so you decide to move. But you realize you have your own freedom now. It's just not like high school or something where you just say, oh, I want to move schools. You don't have that option, so you have this
exactly.
all this freedom. So amazing, very therapeutic, like you said. I mean, now that I've gone through it, and which I don't want to make it sound like it was difficult. It was just different, kind of experience that I wasn't used to having before. The structure, that structure. But now that I've done it, I'm like, I recommend everybody to do it. It just opens up all
It's
these.
like the doctor should prescribe traveling.
Exactly. It's
So it would be
it's
like a real innovation.
yeah,
It's like the pills of traveling.
yeah,
Clip pill.
yeah. Yeah, it opens up so many possibilities, and I think it just gives you a lot of boost of self-confidence too, because you're forced to deal with some situations you never did before.
Yeah, you're like free but unchained at the same time. So you live up in a paradox because you're free to heal yourself, but also to to kill yourself. So you heal and kill yourself in the same way because sometimes people talk about why you do it, like why you have to suffer to grow.
Mhm.
Because you want to grow. Like growth is more important than pain,
Mhm.
which is actually then you start understanding that pain is just like some steps that allow you to get into the growth, which is
Mhm.
then the growth. It's still pain because you never stop growing and you never stop paying. So it's just like a choice. Probably
Yeah.
like now I would say it's a spiritual choice because you grow and you suffer at the same time,
Mhm.
which is much better than. And also you move. So you move, you grow, and you feel pain and suffering, which is much better than don't grow, don't move, and pain.
Yeah,
so if I
absolutely.
have to suffer, I want to suffer by moving.
Right.
Like because the more you roll, the more the more you don't get stagnant, the more your soul can be refreshed.
Yeah.
Especially here in this beautiful paradise where we are, like the feeling of being refreshed and
Mhm.
enlightened and also get lighter. I think it's a good sensation that everybody can feel, not only in tropical places, which
Mhm.
actually I think a tropical and exotic place, like for example Bolivia, it's exotic, but it's not that tropical like this one. Obviously there is some part which is obviously Amazon style, but Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia are like easiest,
Mhm.
like also, yeah, something I wanna talk to you about this because you have been like into two main backpack and digital nomad area, which are South America and Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So then obviously you as English speakers, it's much easier for an English speaker traveling in Southeast Asia because pretty much everyone speaks English. First, the local, which is pretty important, and second, obviously, travelers, which in Latin America, it's totally completely different things, which if you don't speak Spanish, like you say, you suffer and you feel like, sometimes also what I'm doing here, like I'm like you really, your level, like your social status it's also your role. You know, if you're in, like in your country, you have like your region, you have your identity, you have your culture, and when you travel in another country and with another language, automatically all your rules, all your expectation, like society expectation, like change and drop, and you're like in an empty canvas, which is it's not only you try to design and paint something, but it's somebody else that also help you. That's like the social constructivism traveling, really, really, really interesting.
Hmm.
That people can experience with other travelers. So it's really interesting when two solo travelers they met together. They don't speak both the language, like they don't speak both Spanish in Colombia, and then you start to ask indirectly support to somebody else because also the other one wants to be helped because you need a help in Latin America. But in Southeast Asia, it's much more easier. No? So you have to find a place. You can just like ask to someone, and in English you can get the information that you want. But Latin America, it's not. So the question I want to ask you about the differences is do you think also seeing other travelers like you? Do you think that suffering America, South America is more suffering, so it's more growing rather than Southeast Asia? Because in Southeast Asia it's more, I mean, I want to say comfy, but it's first it's more safe.
Hmm.
Second, it's with English, it's much more easier, and second, it's much more tropical than the most of Latin America. So
Mhm.
yeah, just like your reflection between differences between traveling and suffering and growing and exploring, both in Southeast Asia and in South America.
Hmm. Yeah, I there's a lot of similarities between traveling in Latin America and also in traveling in Southeast Asia. There's a few differences. Also, I guess it's helpful to note that when I was in Latin America was a few years ago, so I was kind of in a different, I guess, chapter at that point versus where I am here.
Yeah, that's true.
So at that time in Latin America, I was a lot more into hiking and kind of doing I don't know, adventure kind of stuff. But I think the network of people that you have between Latin America and Asia and Europe, really anywhere, this kind of stuff, you have kind of a similar group of people. I tend to find them to be a little bit more, I don't know, open-minded. That's one way I could try to say it. But people that are a little bit more curious or feeling like comfortable to get out of their element or challenging themselves or something like that. So at least I found that wherever I am in the world, when you're kind of in these places where travelers go or you know, the digital nomad types or something, you tend to meet people who are a little bit more of like going out of the comfort zone. They want to experience something different. So at least that's something I found similar between the two of them, the network of people around. Yeah, also, yeah, so I guess I'll step back for a second. After Latin America, I did go I did go work in Australia for a while as well too.
Yes. This step I lost. Okay. Yeah, it's actually another big
Yeah.
spot in the world.
Yeah, and it was like I would say it was a transition period too, because yeah, I kind of, after a while traveling Latin America, you know, I was extending my time. At first I thought I was only going to be there for 3 months. I said maybe I can extend my budget to 6 months, but kind of pushing it. But anyway,
They were charging spot Australia.
yeah, so it was nice because I found a great job while I was there and met some friends and was working, so I was able to save money, but also still connect with kind of this international community of people who else were traveling and stuff as well too. Yeah, and so I think, you know, I started getting a little bit more kind of back into career mindset, a professional thing, trying to say, oh, I need to kind of work a little bit more on my.
So Latin America, adventure, exploring, quit the job, let's see, go with the flow, serendipity, spontaneousness, and then one step back to Australia, recharging, English, career, self-project, connect, career, right? Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So I did that for almost 2 years, something like that. And yeah, that was great. And then I kind of, at that point, you know, it's almost like I kind of grew up and had kind of my work and school, blah blah blah. So you're used to kind of a lot of the structure, a lot going on, a lot of.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you go this other one where it's like absolute freedom, you know, and your adventure and stuff.
Okay, interesting.
And then that one was like, I feel like I need to go back to this way again. Everything's a kind of balancing act, right?
Okay, this is
so it was like
interesting
kind of
spot.
going back to Australia, where it wasn't completely back to the beginning. So it was like I was more settled, but I was still in a foreign country, still kind of
Yes,
trying to be
yes,
out.
yes.
So it was like going this way again. And then after a year or so of that, I started being like, what am I doing? I'm back doing the same thing I was doing in California. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but I'm like,
this is like crisis, right? Like existential crisis, which is like bring back many problem solving and also obviously many solution, many growing and many connection with the life purpose that reinforce the first quick job experience, right?
Hmm.
Because otherwise sometimes you could feel lost. Because I've met people that sometimes they feel lost and they just can't come back and just the plan was not correct. But so
Hmm.
it's interesting, when you find crisis, problem solving, good choices, and sometimes also it's possible to stay in a like I call it now informal zone, which you don't know, like you are not fish, not meat,
Hmm.
you are nothing, but you trust, and then you start becoming or meat or fish. So yeah, I want to know like your experience of like facing crisis and problem solving and hard decision and evolution.
So, yeah, I would say probably at this point when I had gone back to when I was in Australia again, and I had a really great job there and everything, and I had opportunity to stay for longer. There was whatever career growth if I wanted it. There was stability that I had all that stuff. Um, I can't, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I started having this feeling though, it was like, wait, everything is good, but it's almost too good, and I'm not quite sure if it's like what I want
Yeah,
though, and it was an internal struggle, because like on paper or something, if you tell anybody, oh, how is your life going? It's good. I got a good job. I'm in Australia. I love it. I live by the beach. I have friends here and job, and life is good and everything. And they wouldn't be able to understand, but why is it not making sense for you? Why is it not, why is it not
yeah,
fit? And
this is interesting. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know the answer, but all I know is it was a feeling that I said, yeah, but something's not quite right.
But
I
wait a
don't
second,
know.
let's compare that state of traveling,
Hmm.
which is like perfectly good, Australia, job, friends, stability,
Hmm.
with the sense of suffering in Latin America, like comfort zone and let's call it like comfort zone and uncomfort zone. So the comfort zone can still be uncomfort,
Yeah,
and it's and how do you switch from the comfort zone to the because you have to create problem probably, right? So you have to
yeah.
that's why I trust problem solving and sense of life combined together because if
Hmm.
you have problem or you are in the right path and you have to keep working hard on that path or maybe it's just like the wrong path and you
Yeah.
have to go to another.
Yeah. So I can tell you at least how where I progressed after that. I
Yes.
still like look back on
Yes.
it and go, I don't even know what was the right path to stay there, to go or something. All I can tell is I feel very confident in what I did was the right decision for me, at least. It made sense. So right there, I tried to kind of deal with it all the time, like trying to be like, I don't know why, like my heart is aching. Why does it feel wrong? My brain says this is the right thing to do. Everything makes sense. Everyone else says, yeah, you're doing a great thing, but something didn't fit right. So yeah, all the time, you kind of try to like ignore what your heart is saying or something. You'd be like, just relax, my head, everything is good. It's like everything will work out, and yeah, I don't know. 6 months went by, and I still kind of had that feeling and stuff as well. I don't know, maybe another 6 months, and I was just really starting to think like, should I go out and travel again? And kind of you had mentioned about something about the comfort zone has uncomfort
Yeah.
and something. So when I thought about it, I said, so what is the alternative to this? Like, I save up a bit more money and at least I have some money to go traveling again. But what do I do after that too? It's not, not forever and stuff. And even when you think about traveling, even if somebody has a lot of money to go for a long time, it's like the excitement wears off after a while too, and you start to like, I don't know, everyone has a little bit different feelings. Some people start to feel they want more routine. Some people want to
Yeah.
feel like they have
Yeah.
consistent friends or long-term friends. Everyone has something. But I would say in the like, yeah, I mean, there was definitely some. When you had a lot of freedom, there's definitely, like I was trying to say earlier today, it was great, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely some things that challenge you a little bit with that too. Like, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be
Yeah,
doing?
you
Or
need
something.
to find
What do I do
some
with all this
problems.
freedom?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So anyway, I had, at the time, actually, I had done therapy while I was in Australia. I saw like a talk therapist. Even, I saw another therapist that prescribed me to like the medication stuff. And like, I don't think that they were wrong to help give me those approaches and stuff. But I think after a little while, I kind of just had to look at everything and say, look, all I know is I've got everything going for me here. At least what people want: a job, stability, opportunities, and stuff like that. So I have all of those. I still don't feel quite right. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but all I know is like I remember what it's like to have a feeling of being like, I'm in the right place, or I'm doing the right thing, and I'm just not feeling. I don't have, and the medication maybe tries to help you relax a little bit and sleep at night or something. The talk therapy was probably the best and most valuable part of it.
So you did two different therapies or
Yeah.
same in the
both at the same time. So
Both.
they,
Ah, okay.
I didn't
Okay,
stay on the
okay.
medication for very long just
Okay.
because it didn't
Okay.
sit well with me. But I did the talk therapy for a while and
Mhm.
tried to not. I really tried to make an effort to say, let me just not be impulsive and just quickly say,
Mhm.
I don't like my job and quit. You know, because I'm like, I'll regret that because I don't. Maybe I'm just making a thing. I'm having a bad day or a bad few months or something. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't impulsive. So I talked with the therapist a lot, and it was nice to have kind of a different perspective and.
Yes.
Um,
Interesting point.
and even I would say, like I said, I still don't know the exact answer. If someone else had to go through it, all I know is mine, which I can
Yeah.
share. Hopefully, it's helpful to someone. But all I know is that after talking with them a few times and them kind of just saying, "Oh, try this, try that," I kind of just got to a point where I had to just make my own decision and say, I don't know if any of these are working. Like I tried the talk therapy, I tried the medication, I tried sticking out at my work and just trying different things. Let me try traveling a little bit more on my weekends or try different routines. And I just kind of made a decision. I said, maybe I need to step out of this. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do, but at least I know I can. And this is something
Quit.
I know you can quit. It's like not that I recommend people to quit.
Yeah.
Like have a plan, you know, do something. But at least I was like, this is something that you grew, you know, kind of this growth you have from earlier is you know what it's like to be challenged and know that okay, I can handle this. I can survive in a country where I don't know the language, I don't have friends, I don't know anything. But once you've grown from that, like you've had the kind of the pain and the growth from that, you know you can survive anywhere. You can do anything anywhere. You know? So I think that's why it was such a valuable experience. I recommend anyone to do it if they can find a way to do it. But anyway, I think that was enough for me to just say, okay, things aren't working here. They should. Everything looks good. Everything makes sense. I'm just going to take what do they call, like a shot in the dark. There's another phrase I can't remember it now, and just say a leap of faith or something. I'm just gonna go for it again, you know. And so I put in my notice and everything, kind of did the same thing. And originally I did kind of the same thing I did in Los Angeles. I said, what is the cheapest flight out of Australia? And Bali came out, it was close.
That's gonna be like a movie trailer, like cheapest flight out of California, cheapest flight out of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exit plan is really great solution. So everybody should have an exit plan.
Yeah, have an exit plan. I try not to recommend people to be super impulsive, but it's like you said, have an exit plan. Have an idea. Do something you're gonna do. Yeah, and anyway, so I had kind of made the decision and stuff. I traveled a little bit in Australia too, but then when I kind of was just like, I need to make a big jump or something, that's when I just said, I'm going to buy a ticket. And literally I bought the ticket. I was living in a van at this time. I wasn't homeless or anything. It was by choice. You know, I had quit my job and said, because that was like my dream from early. I was always wanted to kind of travel in like a camper van. So I had done that for a while, and then when it was just like not sitting, you know, I said, all right, what are my other options? I can do something. That was when I got on and said, okay, there's a flight out of this city in a few hours. It's pretty cheap. I guess I'm going to do it. Just went there, dropped off the keys from my van at the place that I had rented, or a place that allowed me to rent it. And I dropped all my stuff off at a donation station. I left a few things in like a sleeping bag, whatever, in the camper van. And dropped off. I had like a skateboard and guitar and stuff. Just donated it, and quickly I was like, all right, I got to get to the airport in 4 hours. You know, ate something. Anyway, I just got on a quick flight. I didn't really know much of anything about Asia at that time, or Bali or Indonesia, anything. I just heard from other people. They said it was a nice place.
So again, some similarities. So Canada, and then quit job, go to the unknown, Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
Australia, moment of stuck, existential crisis, and then exit strategy, exit solution, exit plan, Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia,
But
yeah.
it's interesting how like problem and solution are like connect. Even if the solution it's always informal. Like the problem, it's like we feel the problem there. We know where we get stuck. Even if the more we know the problem, probably the more we get stuck into the analysis and paralysis and don't go to the solution. But as soon as we go to the invisible space, to the unknown, automatically solution appear, which is like that's informal state. Like go to the informal and automatically new formalization will appear, which are different than the formalization that you are able to create problem, and that new solution will build your solution storage identity, which you can accumulate more way to formalize solution. So Southeast Asia, informality, unknown, and
I was here for a while, and one thing I want to add to your point is you say sometimes like when you have the problem and your solution, or you find it, even still I don't know what is the exact solution to all of everything. You know, there's no way. I just know what I did.
Exactly.
And I would say, like a lot of people say, oh, the solution is quitting your job. Like
Yeah.
I don't recommend to anybody to
No,
just
exactly.
because I wouldn't say that quitting my job was the solution. I wouldn't
No,
say it.
no,
All
no,
I'm
no.
saying is that it gave you kind of different problems to deal with
Yes.
and give you different opportunities, and then you kind of work your way and it's almost like a
It's kind
maze,
of,
you
yeah.
know. Sometimes you go down one path and you look like you're close to
Mm-hmm.
at least what you think is the solution, but a lot of times to get there is not a direct path. But at least if you say, all right, I'm going to keep going forward, you're going to go, you know, backwards a little bit, and then you go here and you go here, and you end up at whatever is your solution for that
Yeah,
point or
it's
that
a try
chapter
and
and stuff.
error and trusting the maze, because if you
Yeah.
trust the maze, even if you get crazy, maze has a solution.
Yeah.
At the end, like you will find, and you can yeah, explore and get lost. But it's a good metaphor. I like this
Yeah.
maze. There's also maze, no? The brain
Yeah, and I think
desire
there's not
to.
one solution, whatever. It's a path of, you know, problem solution, problem
Yeah,
solution,
that's why.
problem
That's why I
solution.
say that solution are informal and problem are formal, because you can see the problem. Or people that say that quit the job was the solution, it's because when we start living something different, then we can, with the memory, come back and just say, okay, that was the solution to solve the problem. But it's not, because the solution is actually the living present moment,
Right.
which is like an infinite happening, and then you can focalize with one and say, okay, that was the solution, but it's actually not. Just like one of the element of trying and exploring.
Yeah.
That's pretty beautiful. So now we are in, in Southeast Asia.
Now we're in Southeast Asia, yeah. So that brings us here. The nice thing about being here is you meet, well, the same as like Latin America or any places you go, you meet so many people who are on different paths, but they all kind of cross in the same places, you know. And whenever you get somewhere, somebody else is leaving, and the journeys of all these people they kind of cross, which is a nice thing because, you know, like probably when we met in Bolivia and we were talking, you were in a different situation, I was in a different situation, but we crossed there, and then, you know, years later we're in a different situation, we've gone different directions, and then we cross again, you know. And
Yeah, that's actually amazing. Yeah, you see me posting on Facebook, and usually don't get to Facebook. Was about December last year. I said, "Are you still in Bali? Are you traveling?" "Yeah, I'm still in Bali. I'm gonna stay here for a while. I don't know how long." "Okay, let's meet at the beach." Tack. And I met you, but actually, like this one, like banana leaves.
uh-huh.
You know, the famous video that we've done in Bolivia on the terraces, and now we are here with that flower, which is like a Bolivian national flag's color, so that flowers gives the color to the Bolivian national flag. So now we are here just randomly, you know.
I don't know if it shows in the video, right?
Yeah, I think it's good to get anyway. We can put it.
A little bit full circle, huh?
Yeah,
Or
so,
half
but then
circle,
just
depending
like
how you
just to
look
close
at it.
the interview, I want to just talk a little bit now about you in with your job situation, like with your project, what you do, which one your next expectation,
Sure.
and like traveling and career, how you combine together.
Yeah. So if we look back at those early years, it was a lot of working, and then it was like the switch to like this to freedom. You know, not working. I was doing some backpacker jobs or something, but it was for the most part it was like work and school or just work and home life, and then this, and then it was back to Australia, work again, and then it was back to freedom. So I think when I'm in either of those kind of extremes, let's say this one or this one, they're good, but I think you kind of miss elements of the opposite side or something. So what I'm doing now at the moment is I'm just trying to kind of do something like a hybrid model. I said, let me have a bit of my freedom and also have a little bit of work, and that's kind of the solution I'm trying out now, is to try to be somewhere in the middle, you know, have a little bit of hybrid. So what I did was when I left Australia and I came here, I said, I don't want to be in the same path again and to go, complete freedom, you know, for 6 months or whatever, and then be in the same position. We're like, I need some stability again. And I said, I don't want to keep doing this same cycle. I want to find something. I want to take my time off, but do something that's. So anyway, when I had come here, my plan was to work and kind of study. And so I said, I know I probably want to go back to work full time again, but I kind of want to change my career path a little bit. So I have a little bit of diversity and stuff. So I came here and I tried to kind of be really. What is the word? Kind of I can't think of the word, but you know, kind of have your own plan, have your own structure, not try to just, you know, waste all my time here without putting towards my goals anything. So yeah, I came here and I said, okay, I'm going to wake up when I naturally wake up. I'm not going to have alarm clock, you know, and I'm not going to care so much about Monday through Friday and Saturday, Sunday. All I know is I want to put in my hours studying, you know, studying and working and building some projects that will kind of help me to get my next job and stuff, and have the freedom. So I started out that way, and so I, you know, would wake up a little bit later than normally without an alarm clock, and I felt really good. And then, you know, I have a big breakfast, take my time and stuff, and then I would go through like working as many hours as I could, working on kind of my projects and stuff. And then when I need a break, I need a break or something. If I need a day off, I need a day off. If it was Sunday and I felt like working, I just worked. So I did a little bit of balance of both, and then I had actually just by coincidence, at one of these co-working spaces here in Bali, I had met some other people who said, "Oh, I'm freelancing. I'd kind of take on side projects, work while I have the project, and then save up money, and then take the time off while I'm waiting for my next job, and use that money to travel."
Co-work
So I said,
co-work helps.
Yeah.
Co-work help, yeah.
Yeah, so I started like have this, that's what I could do. That sounds like a good kind of middle balance or hybrid to this situation. Anyway, I had a great opportunity, met a couple of really nice people at a co-working space here, and they said, "Do you know the skills that you have and your experience is actually perfect what we're looking for our thing. We're looking for someone who's travels and is comfortable being in a foreign country and blah blah blah. Doesn't mind kind of being in Southeast Asia and helping a small business grow and stuff." And 10 years ago I would have said no, I wasn't interested in that, but this time I was like, actually that sounds perfect for me too, so it actually was a good match, just found by coincidence. And so they basically gave me the opportunity, gave me kind of my freedom, my flexibility. They said you can, and this was actually a little bit, this was before COVID and stuff, so there was still some remote jobs happening, but it wasn't like COVID time where tons of remote. So I was able to kind of balance that, where I said, okay, I'm basically working nearly full time with them, and have the opportunity to live as I want to, travel when I want to and stuff. I have to be responsible, make sure I'm meeting all my deadlines and all that kind of stuff. And I think I ended up really sticking with that because it turned out to be good. I was able to continue to live here in Bali. I was able to travel and kind of visit some of the company's other offices and help their business grow that way. And at the same time, I enjoyed the benefit too because I got to be in foreign countries and learn things, meet other people and stuff. And that was before I even realized it. That was the beginning of kind of what I'm doing now, is kind of building the opportunity that now I've studied. I've built the kind of the skills. I've kind of got some opportunities with companies or clients that I can work with, and I continue I want to continue to do that and just see how far it goes. See if I can continue to live where I want to, when I want to, work my job, and kind of put them all together and see how that goes.
That seems a drone.
I think I hear a drone.
Super fast, eh?
It's beautiful out here. So there's people that fly drones every evening. You'll see this one here. It's like an airplane one. It's really cool.
But that's the present. So basically, that's your present now, and it's like, it's paradise,
Yeah, it's good. And
which one do you think would be the next step? Like, in case you will do a next step, like which one would be like for your career, like another next step that you want to?
Good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would say that during during this time I realized kind of I like kind of having travel and the freedom again and stuff. So if we go back to this, there was the one extreme to the other extreme, and I kind of bounce back and forth like this. I feel like I'm starting to go about right here. And now at this point, I think I've been able to work remote, which has been really, really great. Work with clients or projects that's in other countries, which is great. And now I'm starting to crave again, kind of having this personal interaction of working in an office and that kind of stuff too. So I think for me, the next thing is I'm considering at the moment now is to look at going back to more traditional businesses or things, just because that's kind of what I did early in my career.
Yeah, like we were saying yesterday, no? We're talking about like people coming back to the traditional in a modern way.
Right, in a modern way.
In a modern way, so like feel the sense of community, like being part of a project with somebody else has the same value, just the same like vision of project, and stay together, just like create a small working society, and have that sense of community. Work, which is really human and really important. So that could be like one of the opportunity.
Yeah.
That you would like take in consideration.
Yeah.
Well, Dave. So I want to say thank you. I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Arrive our time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Time for it.
Time for it. Okay. All right. Okay.